Hello and welcome to the walkthrough of the S2 11-meter center cockpit cruiser. The S2 yacht line was created by Leon Slickers. Leon Slickers was based out of Holland, Michigan, and he had a boat company called Slickcraft, which he sold to AMF. And after he sold his powerboat company, he had a non-compete. And because of the non-compete, he couldn't make powerboats anymore, and so he decided to make sailboats, which is where the S2 yacht line came to life. After making S2 sailboats for some years, his non-compete ran out, and he started the Tiara boat line. And so for those of you who are familiar with the Tiara fishing boats, you will notice that a lot of the interior woodwork is almost identical. So here we are just walking around the boat, and we will take a quick tour of the top side first and then head below. We'll step aboard here on the starboard side of the boat and head forward. And please notice as we head forward, the grab rails traveling the length of the boat and the height of the tow rail, which is a few inches, which is quite nice for cruising. Up front we have a Schaefer roller furler, and you can see that there are spots for 2 anchors up on the bow, although I only have 1 loaded currently. We can open the anchor locker, and inside there is actually 2 sets of rods in there, each with about 20 feet of chain, 200 feet of rope, which is usually more than enough for me out here in Hawaii. As we move back, you'll see the manual anchor windlass, and right in front of that, the deck fitting where the staysail will attach. Here you can see the deck pad that was created for the front of the boat, which is very nice for company to lay out up front and catch some sun. The cleat for the anchor and the forward hatch. We'll move across here, and you will see me point out the blocks here at the base of the mast. And these are Schaefer and Harkin blocks here at the base of the mast. And here is a mast step, which we have mast steps to the top of the mast. And here I have my arm on the staysail, which is currently secured onto a shroud, but can be moved, as I'm going to show you, up to this forward deck fitting right here, and a storm sail can be attached to that for heavy weather sailing. We're going to take a look up the mast to see the mast steps, the spreader lights, the radar, all the important things. And here's the mainsail cover. The boat does have full sunbrella covering to cover all these grab rails here, all the teak on the deck, and so on, but I have it off today just so I can show you the boat. We move back, we'll take a look at the hard dodger. The hard dodger does have a flexible plastic windshield, and you can see it's on snaps, and those snaps can be pulled down to get more breeze into the cockpit on a hot day. Cruise past the cockpit here to the rear side of the boat, where you can see at the rear deck hatch there is pads that have been bought to go on either side to help make the cruising days a little more comfortable for the guests. We move back and we can see the life sling man overboard system required by the Coast Guard. 2 deck hatches here in the back, cup holders which are removable. I think we're going to take a quick look here at the Honda 2 horsepower 4-stroke motor, which goes with an Avon 8-foot rollout dinghy. There is a barbecue grill on the back, which is connected into the propane system. Are 2 solar panels here, which function excellent to keep the batteries topped off, and the wind gen. And right there in front of you is also the antenna for the ham radio, which currently is not functioning. In the rear 2 deck hatches, there is an additional rear anchor, and on the starboard side, there is 2 20-gallon propane tanks. Here's the nav station here up top, or the command station, I guess I should call it. And you can see that it has the wind instruments there. Cockpit table for entertaining. Cruise down to the interior of the boat, the living quarters. We'll come down here into the galley, and you'll notice in the galley it appears that there, or the salon, in the salon it appears that there's no salon table, but there is actually a salon table which I have in storage, which fits there in that main area and has leaflets to fold up and seat for comfortably. V-berth, pretty standard. Water tank rests under the V-berth. It is 70 gallons. Step back, and here you'll see right in front of this mast is where the table usually folds. It is very thin, and like I said, has leaflets. Open up the bathroom door here, and you will notice that I use the bathroom to store extra sails and life jackets and things like that, and I use the bathtub area to store snorkeling gear and scuba gear. But if you look at the pictures of the boat, you'll notice that I cleared that out for the pictures so you could see what the shower area looks like without anything in the storage. The EPIRB here on the wall, and a bag of dye. That is the overboard rope. Here you'll see that the cockpit table folds in, tucks nicely up against the starboard settee bench, so you don't have to use that if you don't want to. Right here we're going to pull off the ladder, and I'm going to show you some of the neat features of this boat that reside behind it. Here at the top is a fold down workbench which has a ton of storage. I choose to use the storage for tools, but the previous liveaboard used that for paper towels and toilet paper and other sort of home storage items. It's quite a large storage area. Below is our 6 house batteries, which are deep flooded, and because they do require watering, they do slide out so they can be serviced. We're not going to do that today, but if you take a look at the pictures, you will see a picture where those batteries are slid out for servicing. Next, we will move to the galley. We do have fresh and salt water here at the sink, power water, power pressure, I should say, and filter in line. Here we have a deep locker for food. This locker has not as much insulation. As we move across, we'll skip the middle locker here. It has a thicker amount of insulation. We go right to the fridge or the cold box, and you'll see the ice there build up on the cold plate, and that keeps drinks nice and cold. It is, that refrigerator does run on AC and DC, so you can run offshore. Here's another way to get into that massive storage area. Next, we will look here at the master's cabin. This was our hanging locker first, which got some fallies in it right now, and then 3 large drawers here to go with the extra storage, which are the slide panels behind the galley, which we already looked at. Here's the rear cabin. It's quite large. It does have standing room for up to 6 feet tall people. It's a nice double bed with a bench here. There's storage I'm about to show you here on the side. Pretty large locker there with a little cabinet, and there's storage under that bench seat there too. I'm gonna get in the bed here and stretch out my 6-foot frame so it's easy to see the amount of room. And here I'm just demonstrating that I'm 6 foot tall, and I can definitely stand up here in the cabin. It's plenty tall enough for me, and for those of you over six feet, you will have to duck just a hair to get in there. Here we're just gonna walk through the boat. To the left you see the black panels where you can open up for extra storage. We'll move back here into the salon area. Here is the radar at the main station below here, the chart table. You see the fuses there on the wall. Chart table lifts to store charts if you choose. I do have quite a bit of paper charts of the Hawaiian Islands. Big locker there below it as well for storage. Radio, ham radio, stereo, there's VHF in the cockpit. Here the picture panel does come off to reveal the 21-inch flat screen TV. And then you can actually open the cabinet, and it has a nice little hidden liquor cabinet in here which keeps your bottles upright and safe in the big weather. Keeps them packed in there pretty snug, which is good. More storage. Here you can see the bulkhead has a cutout that will open all of the way. That helps just keep it more open feeling down below. Or if you want to keep an eye on children that might be sleeping up in the V berth, that's a good way to open that up and be able to keep an eye. There is storage behind both of the settee cabinets here, and there is storage below them. Plenty of storage for offshore cruising. There is a lee cloth on the port side as well for trips that can be strung up and used if you're underway. You see the stereo speakers there in the shot, more cabinets, and here we have the microwave, and the microwave only runs on 120 AC, and you do need to be plugged into shore power for that, but all the other electronics can work off-grid. Gimble stove, and behind it once again the black slides which open up to plates. I wish I would have opened that during the video. Now we're going to take a peek at the engine here. The engine has 900 hours on it now. It is a Pathfinder 42. It is the same engine that was in the 1981 Rabbit truck. It's a 4-cylinder diesel, gets about half gallon per hour or better, quarter to a half. As you can see, the engine runs incredibly well. You got the inverter there. No issues with the engine. It's 4-cylinder. There is still a owners association in Canada, and you can get replacement parts. And now we'll take a look at the boat underway, just some videos I have from the past. Please enjoy and contact us with any questions